This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, January 15th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I'm Tori. That was Natalie running, making a mad dash across the screen. Our makeup artist. Thank you, Natalie. The final Democratic debate before the Iowa caucus was last night. Only 6 candidates were on the stage, but everybody's talking about 2. The Warren and Sanders feud. Did Bernie tell Warren that a woman couldn't win? Well, here's how he answered that question.
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it.
Can a woman beat Donald Trump? Look at the men on this stage. Collectively, they have lost 10 elections. The only people on this stage who have won every single election that they've been in are the women, Amy and me.
But check out what happened after the debate. So Bernie goes in for a handshake, right? But Warren wasn't having it. Then they seem to have this really tense conversation. And now everyone is wondering, what did they say to each other? If you keep watching, he sort of leans in, says what, and then they end very tersely. If you watch the entire clip, it goes on to be awkward. I got to be honest, I'm just going to give you my 2 cents. I was super disappointed in the debate. I think this Warren thing is not to my liking. And maybe you disagree with me, and I want to hear from that. But this brings her down. It brings the debate down. We're not talking about Trump. I just think, why go after a certified feminist that's been walking the walk this whole time? To me, it's turned her off from me, and I was interested in Warren for a while.
I think that Bernie looks like the victor here. I think Warren had a bad strategy, but that didn't come in until 43 minutes into the debate. So don't act like it took over the whole thing. We are talking about it, but it wasn't the majority of the debate. I think Bernie was on the defense, fielding attacks from everybody, even Klobuchar, who may or may not even have a chance in this race, saying, how is he going to pay for things? I think that Warren went over there and seems like the angry one by not shaking his hand.
What a bad move.
And it seems like a bad move on her part. And I think that Bernie handled it well. But she also decided to go even lower of a blow and say, that's my friend, but also you've never won an election against a Republican like I have. It seems like she should just take the high road here, since everyone thinks that was a bad strategy.
I don't think the high road is going to beat Donald Trump. And I think that she was well played with what she did. Now, I understand you
strongly
you
disagree.
looked at it as a level of immatureness or whatever.
No, I think it was a bad political strategy.
It was a bad political, but look who she's about to go against if she gets this nomination. She's about to go against someone who's going to attack her on Twitter. He's going to attack her at his rallies. So she has to show that she can stand up to someone. But
Bernie's never gone out. It was unprovoked for no reason. They've been allies for 30 years.
It's politics, Tori.
No,
it's
that's bad politics, Brandon.
It's politics.
Sorry,
it's her
I think
time
that's
to step up and show
If the 2 leading the race are Biden and Bernie, then I think she should have picked Biden to attack.
Yeah,
rather than Bernie. They're like allies when it comes to policy.
I think they kind of show their hand when they all start going after Sanders, because that's what people do when they know who the front runner is. And I think them going after him, kind of almost ganging up on him, they kind of showed the country that this is who the leader is now.
Yeah.
And I think everybody knows. I think Bernie came off very well. He fought off all those attacks. He came out unscathed. I feel like he looks good. And I feel like Senator Warren came out looking small in this situation.
And pity really? When you don't.
And I understand your point, Brandon. I agree. It's gloves off politics.
Yeah, but you don't not shake the hand. That was petty, in my opinion. Let us know what you think. It's going to be a strongly heated debate all day today. Well, after a very long wait, the articles of impeachment are finally heading to the United States Senate today. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she held a press conference this morning. She announced who will present the case. Well, meantime, the House released a bunch of new evidence from someone you might remember, indicted businessman Lev Parnas. You all remember him? Well, it includes this letter on Rudy Giuliani's own stationery requesting a private meeting with the Ukrainian president, saying he has a, quote, specific request with Trump's, quote, knowledge and consent. And check out this handwritten note saying, get Zelensky to announce that the Biden case will be investigated. The best part? Parnas' lawyer just tweeted out this video, apparently trolling the president, showing all the pictures of Parnas with the Trump family. He also has that playing too. We are family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have like Law and Order clues. Like, that's how easy it is. I mean, they're literally typing it on stationery.
Like, come on, make it hard.
Come on, I know we gotta kill 59 minutes here. This is pretty
And one time it was like, get rid of Lanny Davis, which was a lawyer, and then underneath it in parentheses it says, do it nicely. It's like so random.
Is this a smoking gun?
Yeah, it really is.
But does it matter? Does it matter?
I think they need to get this going. McConnell said, let's get this rolling. They're not going to dismiss the articles. They're going to have them come to the Senate. And he said, we're going to work 6 days a week, 5 hours a day, meaning Saturdays too. If you guys are serious about bringing witnesses, there's 4 different Republicans who said they're open to hearing it. All you need is 4 to get that passed and witnesses to be coming in there. Now let's talk about how to actually remove him from office. You need 20 different Republicans to do that. I don't think that's happening. And so we keep prolonging this waste of time that we all know the conclusion is going to be he's not going to be removed.
And I just ask you, is it a waste of time or a constitutional process in which they have a duty to fulfill?
But, yeah, constitutional process that Pelosi has been holding up for weeks since before the Christmas break. Just for this written note of evidence.
Yeah, why do you think she waited until a freaking handwritten note came out with like Giuliani's name on it?
But you've been saying smoking gun every day that we talked about this for the last 3 months. We had 17 and nothing happened, so let's get the ball rolling.
All right, do you agree with this beautiful girl in this gorgeous outfit? I love your outfit.
I love the outfit.
Doesn't it look great? She's like a celestial star. Okay. Talk about a horrifying situation for kids and
You didn't say
parents.
nothing about my outfit.
It's good. It looks great.
Well, now that didn't sound very.
You changed your shirt, Al. You had on a different shirt earlier.
Yeah, my collar wasn't right.
Can we move
on?
A Delta plane dumped its jet fuel on 5 elementary schools and 1 high school yesterday. 60 people had to be treated. The plane was taking off from LA when it had engine troubles. It had to turn around and to land. Well, it had to dump the fuel to drop weight. Some kids reported being doused with jet fuel. Others said it got in their eyes. Federal officials are now investigating. They were drenched. Now, you're supposed to do this, obviously, over uninhabitable oceans or rural areas.
Yep.
But when it's an emergency, it's an emergency, right?
Yeah, you have to do it, because if you're fully loaded with jet fuel and you're on emergency landing, you can't.
It's too heavy?
It's too heavy.
Yeah.
You're putting the passengers at risk. And I know this may sound selfish, but I think everyone in here will agree that if you're a passenger on that flight, and this is going, like I said, this is going to sound bad. You don't care if some kids got doused with some jet fuel. You want to land safely because, Al, you have kids. You want to get back to your babies. Yeah. So Delta's going to have to pay off some lawsuits, that sort of thing. That's what insurance is for. But at the same time, I bet you there are a lot of people praying to their God that they got a chance.
Brandon,
to
I appreciate your nuanced look at this because this was a little bit clickbaity. It just came off like, Delta dumps fuel on kids, like they're from a rival high school or something. No, they were about to. Yes, they were about to, they were having issues. And you do have to dump fuel. Obviously, if you have a rough landing, you don't want an explosion for weight reasons. So I think they did the right thing. It wasn't ideal, but hey, guys, life isn't always ideal when you're having engine trouble on a plane.
Parents also want the answers, though, whose kids were exposed to that. Like, what are the long-term effects here? I think that parents want those answers. And they flew over water, went all the way around, and came back. And so, what was the extent of the emergency that they maybe couldn't just bust a U-turn? I don't know how planes work.
There are other planes in the sky.
I know, but go somewhere a little bit lower. They could even went higher.
Air Force One.
But they could have went higher, 3,000 feet, and so that it would evaporate in the air and not on kids' bodies. So I think people want answers.
That's interesting. Delta will investigate, so we'll find out.
I don't know. If you're having engine trouble, do you want to go 3,000 feet higher?
Listen, that's why people are asking for the extent of the emergency. Like, could you land in 10 minutes or was it immediate? And they're hoping that the pilot made the right choice.
I hope they put
the plane landed.
Yes, everyone's okay.
And he put his blinker on before he busted that U-turn.
Put his arm out the window.
Right terminology for flying.
He put his little arm out. That's right. All right, you're never going to believe what happened to this woman. So she was at the airport boarding a flight. She started to get random texts from this unknown number. Here's some of them reading, I must tell you, you are gorgeous. I think you didn't remember me. I work for the airline. The messages continued with the man asking, will you join me? I have 2 seats open next to me. She asks, I gave you my number? And the man admits, honestly, I got it from your bag tag. The woman is suing, and American Airlines says the man is no longer employed and that they take the privacy and safety of its customers very seriously. Didn't know about this. Erica Cobb, our other co-host, was saying, get a luggage bag, like a cover. Right, I couldn't come up with the word for cover.
But I think that also American Airlines really did people a disservice here because this guy has done this before, according to her lawsuit. Yep. He's reached out to people. He's contacted other passengers. Even the other flight attendant came over to the girl and said, hey, this is not the first time he's done this, to the woman who was upset in her seat. So the fact that you think this employee is so stellar that you're going to keep him on staff when he's harassing multiple customers is really disgusting.
She's going to get a lot of money.
Right.
She's going to get
What? Not knowing
It's
how
a
to
bad
block
day
a
for
number?
airlines.
No, you don't have.
Blocking. She shouldn't be harassed on a flight by
I'm
an
not
employee.
saying she should, but after maybe the 50th text, maybe you're scrolling over the settings. What are we doing here?
Wow.
What do you say?
Are you just a grown woman?
Al, if you're just trying to enjoy your flight and somebody's harassing you in any way, would you appreciate that?
Yeah, you don't sit there like a 4-year-old. I don't know what to do. You take your phone,
Oh, boy.
you block the weird number, and then you tell a flight attendant.
Or
and
you
then
don't,
you
and
call
you
your
have
lawyer.
documents to get more money from American Airlines.
They
And now
have
she can take a bath
text.
in American Airlines money.
Thank you. Thank you. Today is a very special day, and we want to make sure to get to this. On this day, in 1929, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He would be 91 years old today. The son of a Baptist minister, Dr. King advocated civil disobedience and nonviolent resistance, becoming a civil rights leader and truly a beacon of justice. We will be honoring his legacy on Monday. That is his national holiday. I think we so desperately need a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. right now. We so desperately need a leader who can orate and speak to the dreams that might be coming true soon. How do you all feel?
And I think he'd be able to handle social media, the hate he would get, because think about it. If you have attacked German Shepherds right there in front of you and you've been arrested,
Great
you've been
point.
assaulted, I think
Spit
you can
on.
handle some Twitter fingers every once in a while. So, you know, it would be great to have him around right now.
It almost feels like surreal that he was in such turmoil and was able to lead that kind of life, going above everybody. We saw Michelle Obama say she's going to go high, and we were like, oh my God.
I know.
You know, and he was like going an extreme amount of high. So, you know, we just always will miss
And
somebody.
you know,
like
when he
that.
was born, his name was Michael.
Really?
His father went over to Germany and studied
Luther.
Martin Luther,
That's
so
right.
he changed his name to Martin.
Wow.
I did not know that.
That's incredible. Well, we hope you all read up, study, because his methods, I think, are the methods to bring our country together. DBL is live. Coming up, a Denzel Washington thriller is coming to TV. I'm chatting with the stars of Lincoln Rhyme, Hunt for the Bone Collector. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Pot is legal in several states, so should companies still be able to fire people if they get high off the clock? Your comments are coming in next.
Hi, DBL Nation. We've got some breaking news coming in. DJ, our digital director, is passing this on to me right now. It's coming in from Associated Press. Tennessee Sheriff's spokesman says law enforcement is responding to an active shooter at McGee-Tyson Air Base. So we're looking more into that breaking news right now, but we did want to give that to you because that is coming in from the Associated Press, and it is verified. So I'll keep you updated on that breaking news, but let's go to the desk and continue talking about it.
I'm aware of what it's substitute.
Hi, guys. How's it going up here?
Today, I love
Yeah, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I know. I hope I'm not getting sick. A lot of people are
you get sick, so you put glasses on?
I don't know. I feel like it hides my sickness, even though it doesn't at all. Yeah, sometimes you're like, your face feels like not as good, right? Thanks, girl. Thanks, girl.
I got a little scratch in my throat yesterday, and I was like, uh-oh, but I just took like 3 cough drops. I feel okay now. Yeah.
So to go back to the woman on the flight, how do you get green bubble text on the flight? Don't you have to have
That's
Wi-Fi?
what I was wondering. Maybe she signed up for like their Wi-Fi on the plane.
But usually that's,
but that's-
you can get iMessage, any messaging that works over Wi-Fi, and the green definitely does not.
It's
You
still
don't have
blue
that.
bubble. That's the first thing that popped
I
up
thought
in
you
my
said
head.
before they took off, and then before when they landed.
She got all of them when they landed. Maybe that's why she
No,
didn't
but
block
they
them.
were going back and forth. She was responding because she was like, "Who is this? When did I give you my number?" And he was like, "Nah, I work here." But there was one that would have got me. That would have won me over. The person, and I don't advocate for this at all. He goes, friendship with me is very beneficial to you. And I'm thinking, you know how many rewards miles I could get? Come on over to 3E. Come on over to 3E. I'll buy you a beer.
Look at Lindsay.
And anyway, let me explain how it works. You get a buddy pass, and then you have to sit there on standby and hopefully pray that you get on a flight, especially if it's anywhere to like New York or California or any big place. Believe me, I have friends that work in the airline.
Yeah, buddy passes.
It doesn't really.
They're not.
And then it's like, what type of buddy are you? If you're their direct kid, it's a good situation. If you're their friend of a friend, if you get, it depends who you are. If you're the employee, you probably are going to get on the flight. If you're the pilot, you're getting stepped over. If you're just a flight attendant who started for last year.
Sounds like you've done this a lot.
I do. My cousin works for JetBlue, 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy passes are not slim dunks at all.
You got to go somewhere no one's going.
It's better to know somebody that works at a hotel. You can always get a shot.
Yeah.
I want someone that was like that.
Welcome Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host. Legalized marijuana continues to be a topic of debate. In 2012, Colorado became the first state to legalize recreational pot, and now it wants it to ban employers from firing workers for smoking off the clock. But some companies feel that getting stoned is bad for business. So DBL Nation, if marijuana is legal, should companies be able to fire people for getting high on their own time?
Ooh, I thought she was going to say high on their own supply.
Oh, I should have.
Good too.
Clever, yeah.
What a bummer.
So
Disappointment.
Eric from Facebook says, absolutely not. My employer does not get to control my actions or behavior when I'm not working. I'm on the fence on this because I know a lot of companies do drug tests randomly and periodically throughout the year. So if you have one of those jobs and you want that job, you might have to comply. But if your company is based in Colorado, somewhere where weed is legal, and they kind of are still checking what you're doing off the clock, I think that's a little bit of a problem, conflict of interest.
All right, Nick from Facebook says, I have a few problems with this. As a regular marijuana user, I don't believe it's a problem for people to use off hours, but I do have a problem with the government getting involved in who private business owners can hire and fire. Nick, I need you to be at the next NFL and NBA owners meetings because they're having this exact problem right now. Guys are living in places, in states, cities where it's legal, but they're still failing drug tests and being suspended for a game or two. So,
interesting.
But at the same time, certain corporations don't want it, and if once you sign up to get that check, you kind of have to abide by their laws and rules.
I guess, but it seems like the people that are making the laws and rules aren't. Their message isn't clear because we always make the mistake. We always say alcohol and drugs. Alcohol is considered a drug, last I checked, correct?
Yeah.
So why aren't they also testing for Jack Daniels? So you can get off work, you can't smoke a joint, but I could down a bottle of Jack Daniels and show up to work the next day?
Yes, you could.
Like, so that I don't.
That's according to the private employer.
But I don't understand why alcohol is not in the same box as drugs.
Because according to the moral compass of the business owner, that isn't a moral problem.
That's
but
not a moral problem. That's a
is.
scientific definition
I hear
of a
you.
drug.
I hear you.
I don't understand why alcohol is outside of their realm of drugs. Anyway, Scott from Facebook says, for all the people against this, Nevada has had it in place for several months now, and the sky hasn't fallen. This would protect people who legally use cannabis in their free time. And Scott, I think you're kind of saying what I was saying. I just don't understand what the laws are and why alcohol seems to be able to fall outside of those parameters when most of the problems in our society are caused by alcohol. And if you don't believe me, step outside at about 1 o'clock on a Saturday morning and see what I'm talking about.
Scott is responsible. He said cannabis.
Yes.
Yeah. Toby from Facebook says, seems pointless in an at-will work state where you can be let go at any time for no reason by your employer. Yeah, that's actually really interesting legally. Here's the deal. Is it antiquated? Yes. Yep. But is it allowed? Yeah. Remember we did the story on U-Haul? They didn't want people who smoke cigarettes. And so they did a nicotine check because they didn't want to hire from a pool who had bad health, people who had bad health, or that took time off for a break. So to me, if you're a private employee, you have that right. That's your choice to do so, even if it's antiquated.
I don't know if it's antiquated because it's never been installed. There's never been a no alcohol policy.
I'm saying that could be something that we look into as something that's more modern day interest into society now.
I would say alcohol was the original drug.
I think a lot of people would agree with you, including myself. Well, coming up on DBL, the Bone Collector series has turned into a hit movie starring Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. Well, now it's coming to the small screen, and I'm talking with the show's stars coming up next.
Finding dinner.
Random sidebar is today's National Bagel Day.
What is it?
National Bagel Day.
I bought bagels yesterday from Trader Joe's.
I thought you were gonna say for us. Like, how'd I miss
No,
it? Maybe you can go during the break and get us some bagels.
No, maybe not.
It's
Do you think
National
there
Bagel
are?
Day.
No,
Do you think
okay.
there are
Good luck.
some employers? Sorry to interrupt that amazing conversation about bagels. Do you think there's some employers that want to dry
staff that do that for alcohol?
I'm sure people.
I bet there is.
But I want all
Yes.
those people saying that to also do no drinking or smoking
Well, they probably
cigarettes
don't.
or weed.
But I'm saying if you.
You're telling me the CEOs don't? Of
I'm
companies?
saying there are people that just live sober lives. Like I know a lot of people that do. That they maybe they did in the 80s and
straight
partied it
edge?
up and now kind of cleaned it up.
But I'm talking about even CEOs, they drink at business meetings, you know? And so like, I really don't want to hear if you're going to be discriminating against people who decide to do something on their leisure activity time.
That you're doing it
That
right.
you make sure that you are living the most straight and narrow. It's like throwing glass stones almost
Right.
to me.
Throwing stones in a glass house. But glass stones would be
insane,
right?
That's in the name of the next Chandra Rhyme series.
Stop it.
That's how you
Stones coming to ABC.
That's how you kill the White Walkers in Game of Thrones.
Throwing glass stones.
Weren't they like live?
Maybe that'll be my show.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. I just, it's got to be either one or the other. And when you start asking people like to not smoke marijuana, you'll get fired. But I think a lot more people probably come into work a little banged up from alcohol more than marijuana. So
Yeah.
I would just think it'd be counterintuitive as an employee, employer. So we'll talk.
Welcome back to DBL. Every killer leaves a trail, but how do you catch a killer who's always one step ahead? Well, you find out by watching NBC's thrilling new series, Lincoln Rhyme Hunt for the Bone Collector. It's inspired by the book and the movie starring Denzel Washington. Earlier, I caught up with Russell Hornsby and Ariel Kebbel in this Chatting with the Stars. Russell and Ariel, thank you so much for joining us on DBL. Russell, you play Lincoln Rhyme, who is a paralyzed detective and uses the help of Ariel, who is an NYPD officer.
I'm Detective Lincoln Rhyme. I'm going to get you out of this. 3 wires, red, white, and green, connecting the victim to a serious-looking canister.
I love Jeffrey Deaver. I've read his books. I can't wait to see The Bone Collector turn into a series. I'm super excited. I want to know, Russell, you're playing the role played by Denzel Washington in the movie, and Denzel's wife weighed in about you. What did she say?
She just said, we're watching you and we're rooting for you. And, that was just, just gave me a nice thumbs up. I really appreciated that.
You do need to see that and hear that sometimes. Ariel, we heard you're obsessed with the movie. Your dad is a big fan of the book, so you really, really wanted the role. What did you do to get it?
When I opened up the script, it was truly a page turner, and I felt so connected to Amelia and what she was going through and what she had been through with her family and loss and trauma, and I wanted to bring her to light, to show a cop that's human.
Speaking of this, how did you both prepare? Were there police ride-alongs? Did you hang out like having coffee at the cops' room? I don't even know what it's called.
Donuts.
Donuts, yeah. Russell, how did you prepare?
Now that I'm 40 plus, I say a lot of roles have taken me a lifetime to prepare. And what I did, though, I ended up drawing on my college experience in theater school, and basically my knowledge of Shakespeare. And in Shakespeare, it really is about stillness and allowing the words to do all the work for you, and finding a way to give Lincoln a little cerebral swagger.
Yes.
Since he's rolling from the neck down.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, when you don't have the use of the body, words, just like Shakespeare, become so important. I imagine the timing and pacing of every sentence was, I bet, a big deal.
Tone and intonation are everything.
Yeah.
And how do you allow yourself to envelop a word and just, give it color.
Envelop, that's good. I felt that. We all felt that. All right, finally, between the two of you backstage, I gotta know who's the good cop and who's the bad cop.
I think we're both good cops.
Are you both good cops?
Yeah, I mean,
With a little bad sense of humor. No, I'm kidding.
little bad jokes, right? Yeah.
Bad humor.
Yeah, we have a great cast. Cast of just
We have a
good,
great
mature
ensemble.
people. Yeah, great ensembles.
You need it.
So I mean, everybody understands what we're here to do, and everybody's coming to have fun and coming to give their level best.
I can't wait to see Lincoln and Amelia in this new version. Thank you, Russell and Ariel. You guys all need to catch the new series, Lincoln Rhyme Hunt for the Bone Collector on NBC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional.
What's up, Beauty Blasters? It's your boy, Jeray for the Slay, and today I'm giving you guys some of my behind-the-scenes makeup tips. Now, it's Friday, so I want to make sure that we're feeling good and that we're looking fine, but sometimes those pesky brow hairs get in the way. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you haven't trimmed your brows up, you haven't seen your good old brow girl in a while, whatever it may be, and you don't have any brow gel laying around the house either. What are we gonna do? Oh my goodness, I don't know, girl. Don't worry though, because I got the answer right here. So all you're gonna need is a little spoolie. You can typically find these guys at like on the bottom of your eyebrow brush if you have one from Anastasia Beverly Hills or Tarte, whatever it may be. Cute, cute, cute. Now, what you also need is a little bit of hairspray. Now, this is a big guy. You don't need a big guy like this. You can get a little bit of hairspray. Whatever you have laying around the house will do just fine. All you need to do for those untamed brows is spray a little bit on your spoolie there, or mascara wand, whatever you want to call it. Now, don't use the mascara wand in your mascara, because we're going to have a whole nother issue, honey. Just use a clean spoolie or something on the end of an eyebrow pencil. After you spray that guy, it's like hairspray for your brows. Who would have thought? Now, this isn't going to give you too much pigment, but if you have crazy untamed brows, or if your husband has crazy untamed brows, this is a great way to smooth out those little pesky brow hairs without getting too crazy or throwing a lot of makeup on. Once again, all you need to do is a quick and go ahead and lay it straight on the brow and brush them up in a uniform fashion. You can also do this with a little beard hair or even taming a little bit of a mustache. So let me know your guys' thoughts and let me know what other tips and secrets you guys want to know from my makeup stash. Until next time, have a great day.
Viewer Rita W. sent us this question. She said her son-in-law had the flu shot and still got the flu twice. She wants to know if there's an actual number of people who get the flu shot and still get the flu. Let's verify. Our sources for this piece, multiple documents from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and data from 3 flu monitoring agencies funded by the CDC. Each of those agencies studies a specific part of the flu vaccine so the CDC can determine if it's effective. Now, there's a lot of dense info here. The basic answer is yes. The CDC does keep track of people who get the flu shot and still get the flu, but it's not a nationwide total number. See, not everyone who gets the flu goes to the hospital. Not everyone gets the flu shot. Different hospitals keep different info, and different states handle that data differently. Put simply, a nationwide total is a hard number to get. Instead, the CDC tracks cases in 4 states where research labs have been set up. They calculate the effectiveness of the flu vaccine by tracking how many people with the vaccine get the flu. That's how they get this chart, showing how effective the vaccine was back all the way to 2005. In 2019, the CDC estimates the vaccine was about 29% effective. Bottom line, to Rita's question, we can verify that the government, specifically the CDC, does keep track of how effective the flu vaccine is. It's not a nationwide total, but it is scientifically researched on a smaller scale at 4 laboratories. Now, the CDC does recommend everyone get the shot even though it's not 100% effective, because if you get it, there's at least a chance the vaccine keeps you from getting sick. And studies have shown it can lessen the severity if you do. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your
double
music. I like that. I was like, did I go too long? Your comments, Al, what are they?
All right, obviously the 5th host got a lot of people talking. And Corrine Kavanaugh on Facebook says exactly what Al is saying with 2 exclamation points.
Did you?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Why are you that shocked by that?
Well, okay.
And let's see, and Ray Landstrom, what a cool name, watching on YouTube says alcohol is more abused than pot. So
I got to be honest.
Are you reading people who are agreeing with you?
No, these are 2 in a row.
I will say this. The majority of comments we got during this program all say alcohol is way more destructive.
Agreed.
What a change we've seen in like 10, 15 years. I don't think people would have said that change, that alcohol.
What do you think?
Think about going to work hungover. Like, what type of person would you be at work if you were that hungover? It's just the same thing as if you were smoked too much or anything in your leisure time.
That's
the only
right.
person that's not. The only thing that's not is like smoking cigarettes.
I think it's more about what's culturally acceptable.
I agree, but I think it's changing, Al. I think it's changing. Also, what if you came from Colorado on a visit? That's the other thing.
Right.
All right, we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Be good to each other.